Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday morning. It's a beautiful, beautiful, calm morning down here at the lake. And I just wanted to come on to chat with you guys. I was talking with some clients last night, and I wanted to highlight something that people do in general. Almost everybody that I see, whether it's in corporations or individuals, is we tend to beat ourselves up when we mess up, or we screw up, or make a mistake, or fail. Human beings are the only creatures in the world that can relive mistakes. Right? If a dog falls off a wall, it doesn't beat itself up the next day and say, "Why did I do that?" and just keep reliving the same mistake over and over and over again. They don't have that ability. So human beings, we have this innate ability to relive our screw-ups and our errors and our mistakes over and over and over. I mean, for decades, right? If we mess up when we're younger, we can relive that forever, and it can scar us and halt us and really just stunt our growth. So I want to encourage you guys. Hopefully I can highlight here what that is when we're worrying, when we're thinking about the past and stuff, and then hopefully give you some tools to not do that, because it's a horrible waste of time. And like I said, if we're human beings, we're going to make mistakes. Matter of fact, it's quite necessary that we make mistakes. We need to go out at the world and try things, excuse me, and then get feedback, and then adjust. And sometimes we don't try the right things, and it ends up maybe affecting somebody else's life in a negative way, and then we can tend to beat ourselves up about that. So I mean, the thing to do is to forgive and forget, to apologize, to forgive and forget, and most of all, you want to be able to forgive yourself. See, forgiveness is more for yourself, so you can move on from the mistake you might have made. And God knows I've made my share of mistakes, and I'll probably still make more, and it is what it is. The idea is not to intentionally inflict harm or do something that'll harm somebody else's life, or to intentionally do something that's not in harmony with the laws of nature and creation, right? So I want to give you some statistics here that I think are going to help you guys and should help you just release a lot of baggage, a lot of mental baggage, clogging up your days, right? It's a complete waste of time and energy to worry about things that you might have made errors on. I know that's a pretty logical statement, right? It's a complete waste of time and energy, but people do it all the time. And I'm going to give you some statistics on what people do. Now, I want you to think about this. Worrying is like praying for what you don't want. When you're worrying about something, the something hasn't happened. Think about that. Whatever the something is, it hasn't happened. You're worried that it might happen, right? We're worried about our kids, we're worried about our health, we're worried about all this stuff. So that there's no reality to the thing that you're spending time on and energy on out there in the future, or whatever that is, right? So statistically speaking, we waste 92% of our time, right, when we're worrying. 40% is on things that never happen. Literally, things that we're worried about, 40% of it just never happens. So think about all that time we spend on something that never happens. And if we're able to realize this and recognize this and spend all of that time putting our thought and energy towards what we want instead, I mean, it would make just a quantum leap of a difference in your lives. 30% of the time that we're worrying, we worry about health-related issues that never happen. We worry about, oh, my family has cancer, I might get it. We can actually cause ourselves to get it by worrying too much, right? The subconscious mind is in control of every single cell in your body and the regeneration of those cells. So what you're thinking as we live and grow, and our body is casting off hundreds of millions of cells a day, it actually matters. So think about that. 30% of the time we're worried about health-related things for ourselves or our kids that never happen. About 12% of the time we're in the past. We're thinking about the past, like yesterday or 5 minutes ago even, right? And it's impossible, as far as I know, in all of my studies, to change the past. So spending any energy there, worrying about it, again, is a complete waste of your time. What we should be doing is not even worrying, but thinking in a positive way about the here and the now and the future. I mean, all we can control is the now, which will impact the future. We can't do anything about the past, right? So if you notice yourself with your mind going back in the past saying, wish I could have done this different, wish I could have done that different, you need to catch yourself doing that and then switch your thoughts around to what do you want. And that's one of the tools I want to give you guys as we wrap up here. So 10% of the time it's miscellaneous little things. We're worried about being late. We're worried about dropping the kids off. We're worried about just all these little things If you're late, you're late. Now, I'm not saying being late is a good thing, but if you're late, you're late. Worrying about it's not going to help. Matter of fact, it's gonna cloud the issue. If you're late for an appointment, it'll make you in a low vibration for the appointment, and whatever that appointment is will be self-sabotaging. So if you're late, I mean, apologize, reach out to the person, let them know you're going to be late, but that's all you can really do. And then get it out of your head, right? You can't control if you're in a 2-hour traffic jam, and you can't leave like 2 extra hours for work or for appointments every single day. We can't control some of this stuff, right? So we spend about 10% of the time worried about trivial little things like that. And then about 8% of the time, we're worried about things we actually should be worried about, right? So all the time that we spend, all that energy, there's only about 8% of it where it's legitimate, we should be worried about. And the beautiful part about that is most of that we can control, right? Most of that stuff that we're worried about that's really impactful, we can control. We can control our health. So you don't, for the most part, we can do certain things. We can eat a certain way. We can exercise. We can control how we age and how we grow. We can control our income 100%. If you're worried about your income, there's no sense spending energy in the past and what you don't have or looking at where you are. It's only about where you want to go and how to get there. So if we could take all the 92% of the time that we worried about the BS, right, and then focus that on what we want, think about all that energy going right towards what you want to create and the impact that'll have on your lives. That makes sense, guys? So stop beating yourselves up. It's a horrible waste of time. It puts you in a negative vibration, which means you'll attract more negative things. And it just it doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve me, it doesn't serve anybody. When you make a mistake, just get it out of your head, analyze it, forgive and forget. If you have to apologize to somebody, do that sincerely, but then get it out of your head. The best way to do it is to write it out on paper. And I mean this sincerely, this is another tool. If you're worried about something, get it out on paper and then crumple up the paper. It's a metaphysical thing to really get it out of your head so you won't worry about it anymore. All right, guys, so hopefully that helps. A couple of tools there for you guys to stop worrying, stop beating yourselves up. Focus all of your energy only on what you want and watch what happens. I mean, that's what people like Elon Musk do. The one percenters, they're only focusing all that energy on what they want, not what they don't want or not what they don't have or not the past. And that's really one of the fundamental differences between the top 3% or top 1% and the masses, is the masses are stuck in worry. All right, guys, so don't be one of those. Feel free to comment below here if you have any questions, or I have a lot of book recommendations. There's things we can do to help you guys if you find that you're worried a lot. So feel free to comment below and share this, and have an amazing day. Make it a great day. Be well, and God bless.